Hey there, my name is Melissa Conkling. I am a spiritual hypnotist, writing coach, and published author, and I am here today to talk about my unique method of writing. I call it spirit guided writing. As a spiritually inclined individual, I have over the past few years developed my own style of writing, and it's something that I think I've actually been doing for a lot longer, but really just pinpointed it over the past probably 2.5 years as something unique that I have been doing. So I call it spirit guided writing, and what I do is I really tap into my intuition, my higher self, my spirit guides to really inform my writing in all kinds of ways. I have been doing it to write my book. I have been doing it to do my social media content, blogs, you name it. This is how I do my writing. And when I mentioned before that I think I've been doing it a lot longer, even when I was in grad school about a decade or so ago, I was kind of using meditation in a sense to really write my research papers. And I believe that I was kind of tapping into this spirit guided writing way back then without even realizing it. So, what is spirit guided writing and why is it different than normal writing? So, I think that in general, creativity is not something you do. It is not something you think about and do. It is something that kind of comes to you through inspiration, obviously, and that comes from our subconscious mind. So, what spirit guided writing is tapping into your intuition, tapping into your higher self, tapping into spirit, and all of these are accessed through your subconscious mind. And this is really important because when you're accessing it through your subconscious mind instead of your conscious mind, you let go of the overthinking, you let go of the doing, you let go of the overworking and trying to force it. And all of those things are what really create writer's block and really keep you from expressing your message with your true authenticity in a really aligned way. So that is how I have been writing. And there are 6 steps to this process. And some of them are, part of every writing process, and some of them are a bit unique. The first step is the preparation phase. Now, obviously, when you are preparing to write anything, you're doing a little bit of planning in some way or shape. But the preparation with spirit guided writing is very different because it is really preparing your mind. It's developing your intuition. It's building a meditation practice, whatever that may be. And my big thing is self-hypnosis, which is very, very similar to meditation. The main difference is really the intent behind it. So when I use self-hypnosis to really get my mind ready to write, what I'm doing is getting myself into a flow state. And when you're in a flow state, you kind of just get into a mad scientist mode, as one of my coaches says. And in that mode, everything just flows out of you. You don't overthink it. You don't question what you're writing. You trust the process, and it happens so effortlessly, so easily, and faster than normal writing because you're not slowing yourself down with the overthinking. So really preparing yourself and learning self-hypnosis, building a meditation practice, and really learning to trust your intuition is a huge step in the process of spirit-guided writing because it really sets you up for the rest of the steps. The second step is really connecting with your guides, whatever those may be for you. It may be your spirit guides, it may be angels, it may be a guardian angel, it may be God or Jesus, it may be your higher self. Whatever it is for you, go with it and really connect with whatever that is and build that connection. As you build that connection, you really, again, are building that deeper trust. And as you build that connection, you can really start to tap into it for writing guidance beyond just the writing itself, where you are in that flow state, but to inform what you're writing about, when you're writing about it, to actually inform the writing itself, and to almost kind of tap into a deeper wisdom that you have within you, which is huge. So as you build that connection with your intuition or higher self or spirit guides, whatever it may be, you really begin to open yourself up to ask those deeper questions about your writing itself. Step 3 is receiving that guidance. Now, once you have established that connection with whatever spiritual guide you are communicating with, you can begin to ask questions about what it is you're writing. My favorite question to ask right off the bat is this the best idea for me right now? And also, if I don't have an idea yet, what should I write about next? And that one is huge for me when I'm writing content for social media or blogs or emails, whatever it may be. If I know I want to send something but don't quite have a solid idea, I meditate on that question. What's the best thing for me to write about right now? And I always come up with several fantastic ideas. So that is a huge one. So then you ask those questions to whatever it is, your higher self, your spirit guides, and then receive that information. Don't judge it, don't question it, just receive it. And that's one of those great things where when you are meditating and in self-hypnosis, you ask those questions and then you just receive them. You can receive them through writing, you might just hear them, however it comes to you is perfectly fine. You may receive signs, there are several different ways that you can receive the messages. Don't question it, just go with it. If you feel like something might be a good idea and it might be from your spirit guide, it probably is. Now, the next step, obviously, after we've prepared our mind, after you've connected with your guides, after you've received the guidance, is doing the actual writing. And again, this is where you're going to use that self-hypnosis to bring you into that flow state. So you just get the ideas and concepts from your mind onto the paper. Don't edit yourself while you're writing. Don't question what you're writing. Don't feel the need to verify any information. I find that sometimes when I am doing this, I'll write something and I'll kind of have that thought like, how do I even know that? And I have that urge to go and verify the fact and see, like kind of research it. But if I just let it go, I can research it later and just get the ideas out onto paper before you overthink it too much. Just let it flow, enjoy that flow state, get it from your mind onto the paper as quickly as possible. Don't worry about editing, don't worry about research, don't worry about any of that, because we're gonna deal with that in the next step, which step 5 is editing. Now, obviously editing is an important part of any writing process, right? But with spirit guided writing, because you are in that flow state and you're just getting everything out as quickly as possible, it's super important because you're not doing it along the way. So it's super important to go back and make sure you're editing yourself, make sure everything makes sense. And this is especially important because often concepts come out in a non-linear way. And that's because our logical mind is not involved in the process. So as we're doing the editing, we're kind of bringing in the logical mind a little bit more to make sure it makes sense to the reader. Because yes, the writing is helpful for you. Writing can be very healing. Writing can be therapeutic. Writing can be fun. But if we're writing for a bigger audience, if we want to make an impact, you have to make sure that that message is coming through clearly to your audience. So editing is super, super important. I think it's the most boring part of the process, but don't skip it. And if you know that your grammar isn't the best, if you know you're not the best, overall writer, call in an editor, find someone that you trust to help you make your writing even better. Don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. That's why we have editors. That's why people do this, to help us make our writing better. Don't feel like you're kind of selling yourself short or that you have to do it all yourself. Trust your intuition if something is telling you to get an editor, and that is totally okay. It's part of the process. And the final step, which I think is where a lot of writers kind of let that fear get in the way, is sharing the writing with the world. Sharing your writing is so, so important, because when you are writing to make an impact, when you are writing something that is fueled by your purpose, you have to share it. If you're keeping it in, if you're writing this beautiful post or blog or book or whatever it may be, and then not sharing it with the world, you're selling yourself and everyone else short. There are people out there that need to hear your message. So if you find yourself giving into the fear, almost self-sabotaging in a sense, Again, you can use self-hypnosis, you can connect with spirit, you can connect with your higher self to reconfirm that yes, this message does need to be heard. It is going to make a difference, and really connect with that. Learn to trust that this message is going to reach the right people at the right time. And it's not going to do it if it's just sitting in your documents on your computer. So sharing that message is super important. And again, I think it's a step that a lot of writers never quite take the step to, because as a writer, you enjoy writing. You want to keep writing forever. But if you keep writing forever, your message never gets shared. So don't get stuck in the writing trap. Make sure you do the editing and do that sharing. Those are the important steps that often get overlooked. So those are the 6 steps to spirit guided writing. And if you want to read more about it in more detail, because as a writer, you might be a reader also like I am, check out the PDF that I did on this that goes into more of the detail of each of these steps and why they matter and how they work. All right, I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.